Sarvadharmasthapakatvam Sarvadharmaswarupakaha Acharyanam Mahacharyo Ramakrishnaaya Te Namaha. O establisher of all the faiths, embodiment of all the religions, the greatest teacher among all the teachers, O Sri Ramakrishna, my salutations to you. Namaste, Pranam. And after that wonderful song that Narendra had sung, oh, when will dawn for me that day of blessedness, when He, who is all good, all beauty, and all truth, will light the inmost shrine of my heart. That was the song Narendra had sung. Waiting for that great He, who is all good, all beauty, and all truth, to light that lamp in my heart, in the temple of my heart. When shall I sink at last, ever beholding Him into the ocean of delight? That is the ultimate aim, that is the ultimate desire of any spiritual aspirant. Ultimately, the spiritual aspirant wants to sink in that beauty of the God consciousness. Dive deep into the God consciousness and ever beholding the beloved, sink into the ocean of delight, sink into the ocean of bliss. Just when Naren had started singing this song, hearing these first few lines, Sri Ramakrishna went into samadhi, deep samadhi. And what his condition was, that Sri M has already mentioned in his notes. He sat with folded hands facing the east. Sri Ramakrishna, if you see his room in Dakshineshwar, to the east side of his room is Ma Kali's temple and Radha, Krishna's temple. So facing the east, he was sitting. Suddenly his mind gone into the divine plane, and his body was erect, his mind completely bereft of worldly consciousness. It was no more on the lower plane. He had gone to his divine mother's lap. His mind was there resting in the divine plane. His breath had almost stopped. With unwinking eyes, he sat motionless as a picture on a canvas. No movement at all. Eyes are not blinking. There is no breathing that one can notice. Just still, like a picture on a canvas. His mind had dived deep into the ocean of God's beauty. Like the Naren had sung, when shall I sink at last, ever beholding Him into that ocean of delight? And Sri Ramakrishna had merged into that ocean of delight. He had dived himself deep into that ocean of delight, into that ocean of bliss. And seeing Sri Ramakrishna not on this normal plane, after the song was over, Narendra just kept aside the tanpura and he went out of the room. After some time, Sri Ramakrishna came down to the lower plane, to the normal plane, and he saw he was looking for Naren, but Naren was not there in the room. But Naren had done his duty of awakening that divine consciousness in Sri Ramakrishna's mind. Sri Ramakrishna looked around, did not find Naren, and all the devotees sitting on floor, they were expecting Sri Ramakrishna to say something, call that boy, call Naren inside, let him continue. But Sri Ramakrishna's reaction now was totally different. Sri Ramakrishna, referring to Naren, what he said, he has lighted the fire. Now the fire has been lit. Now it doesn't matter whether he stays in the room or goes out. Now the fire is burning. Now the fire of the divine aspiration has already lit. Now whether Naren remains in the room or not, that doesn't matter at all. Now Sri Ramakrishna is into that divine mood. And to Captain Vishwanath Upadhyay, the government officer from government of Nepal, who is in Calcutta now, who has come to Sri Ramakrishna along with Naren. To Captain and other devotees now, Sri Ramakrishna starts talking. Narendra has done his duty. He has ignited the light. He had switched on the devotional fervor in Sri Ramakrishna's mind. So Sri Ramakrishna starts talking to all these devotees, including Vishwanath Upadhyay, captain. Attribute to yourselves the bliss of God consciousness. Attribute to yourself the bliss of God consciousness. Then you too will experience ineffable joy. Then the ineffable joy, the everlasting joy, the joy which can never get diluted, which Sri Ramakrishna had just a few moments back he had enjoyed, diving deep into the ocean of delight. Sri Ramakrishna says, attribute to yourselves the bliss of God consciousness and you will also experience the ineffable joy. Once a spiritual aspirant, it just gets into the God consciousness, the joy, that bliss, that anandam that one experiences is ineffable. There is no comparison to that. And that joy, that bliss, that delight, that can never come down, that can never diminish. The bliss of God consciousness always exists in you. We are filled with the God consciousness, but we all have forgotten it. Sri Ramakrishna says, the God consciousness, the bliss of God consciousness is always within you, but it is only hidden by the veiling and projecting power of Maya. Maya has hidden that God consciousness. Maya has the projecting power to project all illusory things in front of you, and you forget that you are God conscious. God consciousness is very much the nature, very much the quality of your person as such, of your being as such. You are no way different. You don't have to do anything to gain that God consciousness, and God consciousness is already within you, Sri Ramakrishna says. But the veiling and projecting power of Maya has deluded you into this worldliness. The less you are attached to the world, the more you love God. These two powers of Maya, the veiling and projecting, these two powers of Maya have created all this delusion and illusion and confusion. The veiling power of Maya hides the reality. She puts on the veil and doesn't allow us to see what is real, to see what is the ultimate truth. That is how she puts on that veil. And what is the projecting power that Sri Ramakrishna is referring to? The projecting power of Maya. Projecting power of Maya creates the names and forms of manifold universe. She projects these names and forms. This creates this duality. The Maya creates this differentiation between me and you. Otherwise, we are all filled with God consciousness. But with this projection of name and form, the moment this duality comes into effect, the moment we start perceiving this duality, the name and form is nothing but the Dvaita. Only because of the name and form, we start differentiating things from ourselves. Oh, I am so and so, and the whole world outside is so and so, because we have started giving them names and we analyze them with certain forms. The moment we have name and forms, that is the projecting power of Maya. And that projecting power of Maya makes us forget our true inheritance of who we are. So Sri Ramakrishna says, these two powers of Maya, the veiling and projecting power, the veiling power of creating ignorance, creating the darkness, she just puts the veil and we forget everything. With the projecting power, we create all these differentiation, all this diversity we create, which in reality is not there as per the Ayurvedic tradition. So that's what Sri Ramakrishna says, you people have forgotten. You can also enjoy this infinite bliss. You can also enjoy this ineffable joy. But your power of enjoying that ineffable joy has been destroyed by these two powers of Maya, the veiling power and the power of projecting names and forms and creating diversity. The less you are attached to the world, the more you love God. As your attachment to the world starts decreasing, you start going towards God more and more nearer to God. Now, Sri Captain Vishwanath Upadhyay, who is a wonderful spiritual aspirant for that matter, quite advanced soul, he comments, the further you proceed towards your home in Calcutta, the farther you leave Benares behind. Now, a person is walking from towards his home. Now, the example is these two cities, Benares and Calcutta. The moment a person starts nearing his house, he is going further from the Benares, city of Benares. So, as we start moving towards God, automatically the attachment to the world starts diminishing. Or as the attachment to the worldly life starts diminishing, we automatically start progressing towards God. Again, Captain is giving another example. Again, the farther you proceed towards Benares, the farther behind you leave your home. Now, these are two contradictory things that are happening. If we are going away from the worldly attachments, we go nearer to God. But if we are going away towards the worldly attachments, naturally we are going away from the God. Now, that is the comment Captain Upadhyay has made, to which Sri Ramakrishna says. He puts another example. Sri Ramakrishna says, as Radha advanced towards Krishna, she could smell more and more of the sweet fragrance of his body. Radha, whenever she used to approach Sri Krishna, whenever she used to come nearer to Sri Krishna, she used to perceive, she could smell that divine fragrance emitting from the body of Krishna. Again, the nearer you approach to God, the more you feel his love. As we go nearer and nearer to God, as we go nearer and nearer to the Divine Mother, our beloved, we start feeling his love. We start feeling the love of the Mother. We start feeling the divine love to a great extent as we move towards the God. And then he gives this example. As the river approaches the ocean, it increasingly feels the flow of the tides. As the river is just about to merge in the ocean, the river starts feeling the flow of tides. Now, that is the end of that long journey, and the river is getting one with the ocean. That is the feeling. As we come nearer to God, we forget all the worldly attachments. We are far away from those attachments and temptations and the desires for enjoyments. They are all left behind, and we are just coming nearer and nearer to God, like when the river approaches the ocean, it increasingly feels the flow of the tides. And now Sri Ramakrishna once again brings in the difference between the jnani and the bhakta. How the jnani and the bhakta behave as they start coming nearer towards God. Nearing the God is an ultimate aim for all the spiritual aspirants, whether the aspirant is a jnani or a bhakta. Now, what happens in case of jnani and what happens in case of a devotee, that Sri Ramakrishna is going to tell us. The jnani experiences God consciousness within himself. It is like the upper Ganges, flowing in only one direction. When jnani starts feeling the God consciousness, the jnani, the knowledge, the aspirant who is practicing the following the path of knowledge, perceives that God realization within himself or within herself. Like the upper Ganges. If you look at the river Ganges, as Ganges is flowing, so smoothly flowing, the upper portion of the Ganges is always, we perceive, so we see that the upper flow is always in the one direction. It is not that sometimes the flow will go that direction, sometimes the flow will go that direction, there will be ebb and there will be tide. No, it is all smooth flow, only unidirectional. Only in one direction that water flows. Likewise, the flow of the spiritual aspirations of the person in the jnana fold, in the mode of jnana yoga. His God consciousness, the person perceives within himself or within herself. To him, the whole universe is illusory like a dream. He is always established in reality of the self. This person has nothing to do with the world as such, with the worldly aspirations, with the worldly desires, with the worldly enjoyments. The jnanis, they know everything else is mithya. For them, Brahma is the only Satya. Brahma Satya Jagat Mithya. Their minds are never tempted by any of these worldly entanglements, worldly temptations. They're all single focused. I am the Atman, Aham Brahmosmi, Saha Aham, and that is all they know. It is a unidirectional flow of the upper Ganges. But with the lover of God, the case is different. Sri Ramakrishna says that doesn't happen in case of devotees. Jnanis, yes, for them it is a single pointed thought process. Brahma Satya, Jagat Mithya. But that doesn't happen with the devotees. That doesn't happen with the lover of gods. But with the lover of God, the case is different. His feeling does not flow in only one direction. It is not Brahma Satya Jagat Mithya. No, for the lover of God, even Jagat is the creation of Brahman. Jagat is as real as the ultimate reality of Brahman in the eyes of the lover of God, in the eyes of a devotee of God. And why is it so? Because a devotee of God perceives this entire creation to be the creation of the Lord. It is the Lord, it is the God, the Creator who has created this creation, is filled in each and every particle of this creation, is pervading this entire creation through each and every atom of the creation. His feeling does not flow in only one direction. He fills both the ebb tide and the flood tide of divine emotion. He laughs and weeps and dances and sings in the ecstasy of God. He has all the emotional display. He is crying, he's weeping, he's laughing, he's dancing, he's singing. He's enjoying being the part of this creation of the Lord. That is the case of the devotee. The lover of God likes to sport with him. In the ocean of God consciousness, he sometimes swims, sometimes goes down, and sometimes rises to the surface like the pieces of ice in water. That is the beauty of being a devotee of the God. The devotee of God truly enjoys this creation. He never says the creation is mithya. No, I am a part and parcel of the creation. Let me enjoy this creation along with my Lord. Let me dance. Let me sing. Let me chant the name of God. Let me sing the glories of the God. Let me dance to the tune of the divine singing. That is how the jnanis and the devotees, they differ. That the jnani is single-pointed. Brahma Satya Jagat Mithya, that's it. He has got nothing to do with the world. But the devotee, he enjoys each and every moment in life to be part of this creation, and given this opportunity to study this creation, to play in this play field that the Lord has created, that Mother has created for him, for her. So that is the difference that Sri Ramakrishna has explained about being in God consciousness, how a person after the Jnana Yoga, he would behave, and how a devotee, how a spiritual aspirant on the path of devotion, on the path of bhakti will behave. Om Namah Shri Bhagavate Ramakrishnaya. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Jai Thakur, Jai Ma, Jai Swamiji.